The French government is apparently accelerating plans to reduce reliance on extra-European software in an effort to achieve digital sovereignty.
France is ditching Windows on a very big scale. They're moving 2.5 million government PCs to the open source system Linux.
This change is part of a broader initiative to reduce reliance on non-European digital technologies.
There's a quiet shift happening in Europe right now, and it's not just another policy update or tech trend. It's something much bigger. France, one of the world's leading economies, is actively moving away from Microsoft Windows and toward Linux. It might sound like a simple software switch, but in reality, it's a direct challenge to decades of reliance on American tech dominance. And if you read between the lines, this isn't just about operating systems, it's about control.
We've been talking a lot about European countries moving away from proprietary software like Microsoft Office and Windows, and moving to open source like LibreOffice and Linux. This week, another domino falls as France is making one of the boldest government IT moves in Europe.
Because when a government says it wants to regain control of its digital destiny, that's not casual wording. That's a statement. That's strategy. And that's exactly what French officials are now openly pushing for. So what's really going on here? And why does it feel like this decision is about more than just Windows? Let's break it down. France has officially started accelerating plans to reduce its dependence on non-European technology, especially software coming from the United States. That includes one of the biggest players in the world, Microsoft.
It is officially preparing to replace Windows desktops with Linux across the country, and every ministry has been told to put together its own implementation plan by autumn 2026. This is not just a rumor or a pilot project.
For decades, Windows has been the backbone of government systems across Europe, including France. From administrative workstations to internal communications, Windows wasn't just software, it was infrastructure. But now, that dependency is being questioned. The French government's digital agency, known as Dynum, is set to be the first testing ground for this transition. Their workstations will begin shifting away from Windows to a Linux-based system.
France is officially ditching Windows for Linux. Yeah, an entire government is moving away from Microsoft and switching to an open source platform instead, replacing Windows, Teams, and other tools with systems they can fully control within France. And the reason isn't just performance. It's something called digital sovereignty. Basically, not wanting another country to control their tech.
And while the exact distribution hasn't been officially confirmed, what matters more is the direction. Open source, customizable, and most importantly, not controlled by a foreign corporation. And that last part is where things get interesting, because this move is deeply tied to a concept that's been gaining momentum across Europe: digital sovereignty. In simple terms, it means having full control over your own data, systems, and technological infrastructure without relying on external powers that could potentially influence or restrict access.
Mandriva, I think that was it. Mandriva, I don't know how to pronounce it. I was looking up distros before the show. I was like, are there distros that are either popular in France or largely maintained by French maintainers?
That's hacking. You can't search stuff. I had to just guess. All right, fine.
And right now, that concern isn't theoretical. Recent geopolitical tensions have made governments across Europe increasingly aware of how vulnerable they might be. The idea that access to critical services like cloud platforms, communication tools, or even basic software could be limited or cut off due to political decisions is no longer something they can ignore. We've already seen signs of this shift. France recently made the decision to stop using Microsoft Teams for official government communication.
The news comes directly from Dynum, D-I-N-U-M, the French government's interministerial digital directorate, as part of a broader national push for.
Instead, they transitioned to a French-developed alternative based on Jitsi, an open-source, end-to-end encrypted video conferencing platform. That alone was a major signal. But this new push toward Linux? That's a much bigger step. Because switching an entire government ecosystem away from Windows isn't easy. We're talking about thousands of machines, legacy systems, internal tools, employee training, compatibility issues, the list goes on. This isn't something you do unless you're serious about long-term change. And France seems committed.
I think they're going to be based, and they're actually going to roll their own. They wouldn't be the first government to do that, and I think it's going to be based on Arch.
Now here's where things get even more interesting. There's still no official word on which Linux distribution France will adopt, and that sparked a lot of speculation. Will they go with an existing, well-supported distro, something stable and widely used, or will they do what some governments have tried before and build their own? It wouldn't be unprecedented. Governments have experimented with custom Linux distributions in the past, aiming to create systems tailored specifically to their needs.
I think this is the word of the year here. A broader national push for digital sovereignty. We've been saying that word a lot lately. France is not just changing operating systems because Linux is cheaper.
But that approach comes with its own challenges: development costs, maintenance, security updates, long-term sustainability. It's not just about building it. It's about keeping it running and keeping it secure. On the other hand, going with an established distribution could provide stability and support, but might still raise concerns if that distro has ties to companies outside Europe. So France is walking a very fine line here. They want independence, but they also need reliability. And that's where the debate really begins.
Or because open source is fashionable, which it is. It's very fashionable. Officials are saying very directly that the state has become too dependent on extra European technology, especially American platforms.
Because within the tech community, opinions are split. Some argue that this is exactly the kind of move governments should be making, breaking free from corporate ecosystems and embracing open source solutions that offer transparency and flexibility. Others, however, are more cautious. They point to past attempts like the well-known Munich project, which tried something similar years ago. Initially successful, it eventually reversed course and went back to Windows. The reasons were complex: usability issues, compatibility problems, internal resistance.
I have no idea what it'll be. If you look at user base installs, it's very likely that it will be, Debian based or Arch based.
People are suggesting names for a French government own role Linux distro. We've got Baguette OS.
It showed that while the idea of switching to Linux is appealing, the execution is where things get complicated. But here's the key difference today. Linux isn't what it used to be. Over the past decade, it has evolved dramatically. User interfaces are more polished, software compatibility has improved, support ecosystems are stronger. What once felt like a niche or technical option is now, in many cases, a viable alternative even for large-scale deployments. And France seems to be betting on that evolution.
And that it wants more control over its own data, infrastructure, pricing, and strategic decisions. In other words, this is about power, independence, and who gets to shape the future of public technology.
They're not just making a symbolic move, they're making a calculated one. And if it works, it could set a precedent. Because France isn't the only country thinking this way. Across Europe, governments are starting to ask the same question. What happens if we rely too much on technology we don't control? That question alone is powerful enough to drive change. And right now, France is the one taking the first big step. Now here's where this story really starts to expand beyond France, because if this move works, it won't stay contained within one country.
That's pretty good. That one's pretty good. I like that.
I'm liking a lot of these.
Ubuntu. That is pretty good. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
It could ripple across Europe in a way that fundamentally reshapes how governments think about technology. And yes, that's where the headline energy comes in, because when a government like France starts actively stepping away from Windows, it inevitably puts pressure on a company like Microsoft. Not because Microsoft is suddenly in danger overnight, but because the symbolism matters. Governments are some of the biggest, most stable clients in the world. Losing even part of that trust or seeing it weaken sends a signal to everyone else.
What makes this especially interesting is that Linux desktops are only one part of a much bigger shift. France is also moving government collaboration towards sovereign tools, and the National Health Insurance Fund has already shifted 80,000 employees to alternatives like...
And the signal here is simple. Dependence is now seen as a risk. For years, the relationship between governments and major tech companies has been built on convenience and performance. Windows works, it's widely supported, and it integrates seamlessly with a massive ecosystem of tools. But convenience comes with a trade-off, and France is now openly questioning whether that trade-off is worth it. Because what happens if access to those tools is no longer guaranteed?
I hope they don't roll their own, or if they do roll their own, I hope there's a lot of up the chain development that happens. It's just, man, we don't need more fragmentation. Oh my god.
No, we don't need it, but it just seems like the kind of thing that would happen.
That's not a hypothetical anymore. We've seen how sanctions and geopolitical decisions can ripple into the tech world, affecting access to services, platforms, and even basic digital infrastructure. For a government, that's a serious vulnerability. It's not just about software, it's about continuity, control, and national security. And that's exactly why this shift toward Linux is gaining momentum. Unlike proprietary systems, Linux is open source. That means the code is accessible, modifiable, and most importantly, not owned by a single corporation. Governments can adapt it to their needs, audit it for security, and maintain control over how it evolves.
Instead of relying on services like Teams, Zoom, and Dropbox, the government has also said its health data platform is moving to a trusted solution by the end of this year. Now, that's pretty fast moving for most things I know about in the IT world, but
that level of control is incredibly appealing in today's environment. But let's be real for a second. This isn't a perfect solution. Switching to Linux at a government level comes with real challenges. One of the biggest is compatibility. Many government workflows are built around software that was designed specifically for Windows. Migrating those systems isn't just a matter of installing a new operating system, it often requires rebuilding entire processes from the ground up. Then, there's the human factor. Training thousands of employees to use a new system is no small task.
If you look at the Steam hardware survey, in regards to distros that are like on the more simple and easy side of things, Mint has a lot of install base. I don't suspect they're going to end up going there. My guess would be is that they don't end up on Mint.
Even small changes in interface or workflow can lead to frustration, slowdowns, and resistance. And when you scale that across an entire government, those issues can multiply quickly. This is exactly what caused problems in past attempts like Munich's Linux project. On paper, it made sense. In practice, it ran into friction technical, organizational, and cultural. So the big question is, why would France succeed where others struggled? The answer might come down to timing.
there are still a lot of big questions. France has not yet said which Linux distribution it will use, and the real scale of the migration will depend on the ministry plans due later this year. But the signal is unmistakable.
The tech landscape today is very different from what it was 10 or even 5 years ago. Linux distributions are more user-friendly. Cloud integration is more flexible. Cross-platform tools are far more common. In many cases, the gap between Windows and Linux, at least for everyday tasks, has narrowed significantly. And that changes the equation. It's no longer a jump into the unknown. It's a calculated shift toward an alternative that has matured. There's also another factor at play here: political will. France isn't just experimenting. This move is part of a broader strategy tied to digital sovereignty.
Might be fair.
I'm not sure if it matters as much.
I don't think it matters as much, but there's still a company behind it, and that company's in the States, right?
Zuse is a more European centric and still very well supported and storied distro as well.
It's backed by policy, by leadership, and by a growing awareness across Europe that technological independence matters. And when that kind of momentum builds, it becomes much harder to reverse course. But let's zoom out even further. If France successfully transitions a significant portion of its government systems to Linux, other countries are going to pay very close attention, not just in Europe, but globally. Because the implications go beyond one operating system. It challenges the idea that a handful of tech giants should dominate the infrastructure of entire nations.
One of Europe's largest governments has formally put Linux at the center of its national tech strategy. If France can make this work, it may not just change French government computing. It could continue to influence the rest of Europe.
And that's a big deal. We could start to see more investment in local tech ecosystems, more development of open source alternatives, more emphasis on data control and infrastructure independence. In other words, this could be the beginning of a much larger shift in how governments approach technology altogether. Of course, none of this happens overnight. There's no official timeline for France's transition, and that's probably intentional. Moves like this need to be gradual, strategic, and carefully managed. Rushing it would only increase the risk of failure.
Right now, European countries, including Germany, are kind of trapped. Chips, cloud storage and code, most of it is provided from companies abroad. And this isn't just about administration. US tech is the backbone of Europe's cybersecurity and military.
And failure, in this case, would be highly visible. Because if France struggles, or worse, reverses course, it could reinforce the argument that sticking with established systems like Windows is the safer option. That's why every step of this process matters. But if it works even partially, it changes the conversation. It proves that large-scale alternatives are possible. It shows that governments can take control of their digital infrastructure without completely sacrificing functionality or efficiency.
If your payment systems, your energy grid or your weapons run on tech you can't fix or control, the provider has a potential kill switch. And what happens to the data the systems process? The cooling of relations with the US under Trump has brought the whole issue even more into the European focus.
And that's where things start to get interesting for the future. Because once that door is open, it's very hard to close. Now, does this mean Microsoft is suddenly losing its grip on the global market? Not even close. Windows remains one of the most widely used operating systems in the world, and its ecosystem is deeply embedded in both public and private sectors. But this isn't about immediate impact. It's about direction. France's decision represents a shift in mindset, a move away from passive reliance and toward active control. And that mindset, once it spreads, can reshape entire industries.
This might be a political move, or just common sense, that any sovereign government should consider. You kind of want to be in control of your data, no matter who you are, who your political friends are, political enemies are. It's kind of good to have control because, one, you never know what the future brings.
So while the headline might sound dramatic, Bill Gates loses it, the reality is more nuanced. This isn't about one person reacting. It's about a global trend beginning to take shape. A trend where governments start asking harder questions. A trend where control matters more than convenience. And a trend where the future of technology might look a lot more decentralized than it does today. France has made its move. Now the rest of the world is watching.